Hey everybody, it's James here with the Sawyer Family Reviews channel. Today is Wednesday, March 18th, 2020. This is your weekly comic book pickups video. Every week I buy some comics, some for my kids, some for me. I always get them at Queen City Comics in Fairfield, Ohio, zip code 45014. If you're in the area and into comics, check out the shop, and while you're over there, check out the brand new expanded toy department. And now is a great time to do those things because if you're able, because everything's kind of shutting down. We're dealing with a crisis across the world, really, for this coronavirus, and a lot of businesses are hurting. If you're able to go out to a place like that, if you feel good, like don't go out if you're sick, but if you feel good and you need something to do, a lot of movie theaters are shut down, restaurants are shut down, sporting events are shut down. Go buy some comics. Take them home and just read. Enjoy your comic books. Or organize your comics. I bought some bags and boards today, just in case we get to a point where we're stuck inside, because I figured that'd be a great time to rebag and board a bunch of books. Something you really should do if you're a comic collector is rebag your comics, rebag and board your comics every year or so, a couple years, as the bags start to degrade. And so I figured, maybe I'll do some of that. Anyway, these are the comics for this week. I don't want to get you guys super down. Let's enjoy some comics, look and see what we bought today. True Believers, there were two this week. True Believers are Marvel's $1 reprints of classic Marvel tales tied into something that's currently going on. In this case, it's Empire. There was also an Avengers True Believers today for the first appearance of Swordsman, I think it was. But I only grabbed this one because I grabbed another DC Dollar book today. So this one is from the incredible John Byrne run on Fantastic Four. We've got Fragments by John Byrne, which is a reprint of Fantastic Four 257. Classic John Byrne. Fantastic Four Galactus stuff right here. Yeah, good book for $1, man. This is a must pick up for $1. And then we've got Dollar Comics from DC, which is DC's answer to True Believers. JLA #1. I was way into this book when it was happening. The Grant Morrison reboot of JLA. And while the Grant Morrison writing was up and down, sometimes it was a little too far out there. It was so fun seeing the big seven together again as the JLA, because for a while the JLA was sort of second stringers. It wasn't the big guns of the DC universe. And then Justice League: A Midsummer's Nightmare happened, and I think that one was written by Mark Waid, maybe? I can't remember. I think Jeff Johnson maybe did the art, but then Grant Morrison did the actual series with art by Howard Porter. And I remember being so excited about this book when it came out. I was heavy going to conventions at this point. I went to Chicago the year this came out, and all the local conventions. And I remember how hot this book was. Justice League was a hot book. And this was the beginning of the Pale Martians storyline. So it's a fun book. It's got a fun storyline to it. It's got the big team together once again. And this is before Grant Morrison started getting a little bit far out there with his storylines in Justice League. This was just like a nice good guys versus bad guys storyline. And one of the coolest elements was when all the teams gets taken out and Batman figures out they're Martians and how to take them out and stuff. I don't think that happens in this issue, but as the story progresses, it does. So I figured the boys would enjoy checking that out. This is for Gracie, Marvel Action Spider-Man #2. Although there's been a bunch of Marvel Action Spider-Man so far, this is just #2 of this series. This is $3.99, and it is done by Brandon Easton and Fico Asio. Gracie loves Spider-Verse. We've gone over this before, and this is a great book for kids that liked Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because it's got all the characters they're going to recognize from the movie, and it's written towards a kid audience. Then we've got He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse, #5 of 6 for Blaze. And this book is $3.99. Looks like I got one with a bit of a cut corner there. That's interesting. This is by Tim Seeley and Tom Derenick. That's not who was doing the art before. Yeah, this is a different artist. I want to say it was like... who was doing the art on this? Now I can't remember. But this is not the same artist. It still looks good. It looks like a fun comic. But this is bringing the He-Man characters from all the different iterations, like cartoons, mini-comics, movies, together as they go across different universes to stop the anti-Eternia He-Man from stealing the power and killing off those He-Man. And this looks like a lot of mini comic style art. Man, this book is so much fun. This book reads like a classic comic to me, like an 80s comic, like just a fun action-adventure comic without trying to put too much in there of, social commentary or talking heads and all this different stuff. It's just a big action-adventure comic, and it brings together all these iterations of He-Man into one, which is really, really cool. Great book. And then that's it for current books. There was no current books for Keaton, so the rest is me and Keaton back issues. I grabbed this Uncanny X-Men Annual number 7. Again, I'm done with the current X books. I'm not enjoying the way they've taken the X universe and the way that they're kind of playing up things now. So I said, that's it for me. I will pick up back issues to keep supporting my shop, but I'm done with the current issues of X-Men. So I grabbed 2 this time for me. First of all, Uncanny X-Men Annual number 7. This is by Chris Claremont and Michael Golden. And it's a crazy tale with lots of guest appearances with the X-Men versus Impossible Man. So we got Nick Fury, and we've got She-Hulk, and we've got Iron Man, and lots of craziness going on. And it's just an all-around fun book. So I picked that one up for, I think it was $4 maybe. And then I got Uncanny X-Men 174, which is this kind of the From the Ashes storyline. This is by Chris Claremont and Paul Smith, when Paul Smith did his short but beloved run on this book. Yeah, look at that. Look at that Paul Smith art. So at this point, Mastermind is kind of pulling the strings and manipulating everyone. Look at this Paul Smith art. Oh my gosh. Holy moly guacamole. For him to be on the book for a short amount of time as he was, and to have such a lasting effect in people's minds, tells you how great he was on this book. Yeah. So we got a good one on that, and I think that was maybe $3. I already took them out of the bags and boards, so sorry. And then I told Keaton, I said, it's up to you, dude. I can get you the current X-Force, or I can grab you a back issue. And he said, grab me a back issue. I said, what? He said, Wolverine or X-Men. So I looked around, and I dug up this Wolverine Jungle Adventure by Walt Simonson and Mike Mignola. Mike Mignola, like Hellboy fame, Mike Mignola. And I remember this was enjoyable, and he likes Mike Mignola's art. Like when he sees Hellboy stuff, he thinks it's pretty cool. So I grabbed this guy. It's Wolverine, Apocalypse, in the jungle with cool Mike Mignola art. Yeah, that's neat. And this wasn't if I can talk, this wasn't above cover very much even. I think it was $4.95. It's $4.50 cover price. And then lastly, we have X-Men Milestones, the Messiah Complex storyline. This is a trade for today, $34.99, and it collects X-Men Messiah Complex, Uncanny X-Men 492 through 494, X-Men 205 to 207, 44 through 46, 25 through 27. This is after House of M, and no mutants have been born until Hope gets born. And this is kind of the beginnings of Avengers versus X-Men with some really pretty art, man. Look at that. And these milestone trades are basically collecting a ton of X-Men crossovers. And they've collected just about every major X-Men crossover by now. They still haven't done House of M, which I'm surprised by. But they're just killing it with these milestones. They're bringing them out fast, too, man. Between these and Epics, you've got, like, pretty much the history of X-Men covered pretty well. I did get an Epic Wolverine last week. I can't remember which one it was. Inner Fury, maybe? I got that last week, but I ordered it late, so it didn't come in on Wednesday. I got it Friday. And I did the same thing with X-Men Avengers Onslaught Volume 1. I ordered it late, so I'll get it tomorrow. So it won't be on the video. But that's what I picked up. I'd be interested to hear what you guys picked up. If you're still picking up current books, what you're picking up back issues, how you're dealing with the enclosure in relation to comics, if you're stuck inside and what you're reading. Leave a like, subscribe, notify, and leave a comment and talk about that kind of stuff. All right, see you guys next week.